New York's classic rock, Q1043.
New York's classic rock, Q104.3. It's Yes. An owner of a lonely heart and filling those lonely hearts with love. That's what Hallmark does.
Nice segue. Thank you.
And Marilu Henner is here, who has, starred in 31 films?
31 films, isn't that crazy?
For Hallmark.
For Hallmark.
Just for Hallmark.
No, I've done like 76, but yeah.
Yeah, not including all the other movies
all the other
and
stuff.
the TV shows, but 31 Hallmarks.
Yeah.
And we have your 20th and 21st
Aurora
starring roles
Teagarden.
in the Aurora Teagarden mystery.
Wow.
Yes, the same character, but it's so much fun because I did 18 with one cast, and then they decided to do a prequel. And so then they said, well, you can still play yourself 10 years ago. And it's like, okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll do it. So now I'm doing with the younger Aurora Teagarden, played by Skylar Samuels. And it's so much fun because I know what happens because of the 18 original, with Candace Cameron Bure, the 18 original. So I get to plant all the Easter eggs like, sometimes you see, it's so great. Anyone who loves the Aurora Teagarden series is really going to enjoy the whole new reboot with the younger, cast. It's a prequel.
Well, Shelley's husband, John,
He's obsessed.
He lives for the Hallmark Christmas movie.
Oh, yes.
He lives for this time of year.
He counts down months in advance.
Oh, I love that.
does.
Yeah, we have so many guys who love the show. And now you could see everything on Hallmark Plus. It's the new streaming service, which is where our two newest movies are being launched. Mm-hmm. And everything's available. All 31 Hallmark movies I've done are available. It's great.
I have a very difficult time. Boy, we're going to get into deep psychological stuff here. I have a very difficult time crying in real life when faced with real life situations.
Okay.
But television shows, movies,
Commercials.
even commercials.
Yeah. He'll cry.
You store it all up.
Make the tears well up, and I just sometimes just collapse into a sobbing mess from what I see on TV.
Aww.
That
is, love that.
Because so much, just really reaches into the human soul. It touches your emotions.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's, it's kind of programmed that way, but it's, you sort of, if you have a really good narrative that pays off in that emotional way, you're brought to a certain point in a story, and then all of a sudden something happens. It's beautiful.
I saw a cell phone commercial a couple of years ago that turned me into a...
But it's healthy to cry, so whatever makes you cry is good.
I'm very easy crying at things because I get so invested. Somebody said, and I said, yes, I even cried at Elroy in the Jetsons when he ran away from home. That was always kind of my benchmark.
Well, one of the things that really gets me going is something that's happy.
Yes.
Happy scenes
Tears of
make
joy.
me cry.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's connected to something that maybe you didn't respond to in your real life, too.
I saw a movie a couple of weeks ago that I had never heard of before. It was just on by chance. I turned on the TV. I turned on Turner Classic Movies. And there was a movie called Remember the Day. And it starred Claudette Colbert.
Right.
And she played a school teacher. And there was a twist at the end. And it just...
Got you.
Yeah.
Aww,
and I
love
think that sort of catharsis happens to people when they heavily invest in the Hallmark Christmas movies.
We count on that. Yes. Oh, there. I watch some of the stuff that I know is what's going to happen, and it doesn't matter because I feel that welling up of tears, and it's great. I'll even cry at these mysteries because they're so beautifully orchestrated. And I read them way in advance, of course, because I'm about to go shoot them. And I'm always fooled at who the killer is. And I think the last two that we did, stunning. I think they're two of our very, very best in the whole franchise. So I hope everybody signs up for Hallmark Plus because you can see all of it right there.
Now, you recently appeared on the stage in the West End in London.
I did 3 shows this year in 3 different places. One in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. One here in New York. And I did Noises Off in Bucks County. I did The Journals of Adam and Eve with Hal Linden, written by Ed Weinberger, with whom I had worked on Taxi. And then I did Mad Women of the West which I had done last year here in New York, but we did it in the West End. We did it in London, and that was great.
Yeah, wasn't that fun?
So much fun. And it was crazy because the 4 actresses, Melanie Mayron, Caroline Aaron, Brooke Adams, and I, we also lived together. So it was kind of like a combination of Real Housewives, Big Brother, and Survivor. But it was great.
Wow.
So it was great.
And she performed at the Bucks County Playhouse.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I'm on the board there. I love it there.
Shelley
Really?
lives in Bucks
I
County.
live in Bucks County.
Oh, you're kidding. Have you been to a lot of shows?
No.
Oh, I've done 5 there. I
couple.
love it. You have to come. I'm probably going to go back next summer. This is like my summer home. I don't have a home there, but I try to get there as much as I can.
And you want to get back to New York so
Yes.
you can do more theater because you love the stage, and actually
Love
you
the
started
stage.
on the stage.
I did. In Chicago.
Yep.
Yes, that's right. Were you there then? Were you there in the early 70s?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when I
until
did Grease.
74.
Uh-huh.
So how did you
That's when
get
I left,
started?
too.
How did you get
Well,
started?
my family owned a dancing school in Chicago. We had 200 students between the ages of 2 and 80, including the nuns who came over for stretch classes from the Catholic church next door. My mom also used to do their hair, because she ran not only a beauty shop, a dancing school in our garage, but she ran a beauty shop in our kitchen. So, and my uncle taught art classes. He lived upstairs with 10 cats, 2 dogs, 2 birds, a skunk, 150 fish, and his boyfriend Charles. And he taught art at the Catholic grammar school next door. So as kids, I got very involved in Chicago theater because people would call and say, "Oh, we need 12 kids for The King and I." I'd be like, "Pick me, pick me. We need 2 kids for South Pacific. Pick me, pick me." So I did a show when I was 15, and there was a guy in the company who was 10 years older than I was, and he was hilarious. So 2 years later, he called me. He said, "Henner, I've written this show. It may never get off the ground. We're going to perform it in a converted trolley barn at Kingston Mines Company Store that was on Lincoln Avenue, and it was called Grease." So I did the original production of Grease. And then when the show went to Broadway, I didn't think it was going to be a hit. So I didn't go and audition with all the other people.
As Marty.
Oh.
As Marty.
Yeah.
I played Marty, the original part. But if you saw the movie, it's very different because there's no song for her character and stuff like that. But anyway, so then the national company came up and Jim called and said, "You're going to kick your ass if you don't come to New York today to audition." And so I did, and left school and went on the national company. So that's what started my whole career.
And then there was Taxi.
Yeah, how did that happen?
You became like a household name.
Yeah.
It was, okay, so I was working in New York. I did 3 Broadway shows, and I was brought out to California for a movie called Blood Brothers with Richard Gere and Paul Sorvino and Tony LoBianco, all these great people. And there was a casting director who just thought I was right for Elaine, even though I was 10 years younger than what they wanted. They wanted her to have a 16-year-old daughter. But I was 25, and they said, but Joel Thurm, I will always owe my career to Joel Thurm. He kept bringing me back. He said, "No, she can handle her own with Judd and the guys. She's like one of the guys, but she's also very feminine, blah, blah, blah." So it was cool. And I got to play Elaine.
And so iconic.
Yeah, and
I know.
and one of the most acclaimed situation comedies in television history.
And we are all so close. We still see I just had lunch with Jim Brooks yesterday, who created it. He and his future wife. I mean, we do Zooms every 2 months. I set up a Zoom for everybody. We've done 23 so far since the pandemic started. So we're super current with each other. And we go to see each other's shows. They came to see me in my show. So, yeah.
It's Marilu Henner with us at Q143, and we'll be right back. New York Times best-selling books. Marilu Henner is with us this morning at Q104.3. Before we do the shameless plugs, I'm looking for a little support.
Oh, okay.
And maybe you can
Here we
provide
go.
it for me.
Okay.
Because Shelley has been driving me crazy about this for the longest time.
Okay.
I share with Shelley because, I've known her a long time, and I feel very comfortable and confident in speaking with her about things. And sometimes I share memories with her of when I was very young, when I was in my crib, when I was being pushed around in my stroller.
Right.
I was talking the other day about potty training.
He remembers potty training.
Yeah, I do too. I've got that weird thing.
Yeah, you've got the weird thing.
Yeah.
I don't have the weird thing, but I do have those memories. And she keeps telling me, that's impossible. That's absolutely impossible.
Memory's tied to adrenaline, first of all, and you operate probably at a more, and those were maybe adrenaline pumping things, but people do remember when they can really tap into it. People have gotten so lazy about trying to remember because we've put everything into our phones and we're all focused on there. Our attention units are paying no attention to what's going on around us. But you were probably a child who like took it all in.
I mean, I can describe stores that I went to when I was a little kid.
You might have HSAM, highly superior autobiographical memory. They wired me, put me through an MRI. They found 9 areas. Took 300 measurements of my brain and found 9 areas 10 times larger than the normal brain.
Well, I don't have.
Well, you don't know that you. Maybe you don't associate.
Well,
it with
what does that mean?
No, I don't have what you have because I can't remember yesterday.
Well, what do you have?
Oh, it's called HSAM, as I said.
And so, what is it?
It's 9 areas in my brain are 10 times larger than the normal.
It's highly superior autobiographical
you can name anything.
memory.
It's okay. Before we went, we were listening to "Owner of the Lonely Heart."
Right.
First time I heard that song was December the 20th, 1984. It was a Thursday.
What?
I can listen to the radio and remember when I heard songs and all the different times I heard them. But that's what I was thinking about, what I was wearing and what I was doing when I heard that song.
Does this mean you can read a script and you know it?
That's
right?
2-dimensional. It'll take me just a couple tries because that's something different. But I will remember where I was automatically, where I was, what I wore, what the weather was like, et cetera, et
See,
cetera.
it takes us a long time to write our weekly week in review contest because sometimes we just don't remember what we did Monday.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
We need her help.
Yeah.
But
Okay, I'll join the.
But I remember what the part that tied around my chin of the cowboy hat I was wearing felt like when I was sitting in my potty seat.
Yeah, so
And-
I believe you. I totally believe you.
And Shelley always looks at me like I've
I'm
lost my mind.
incredulous.
No, it's really true. I mean, and there are
How
a lot
does
of
he
people.
get tested?
It's
I
at UC
No,
Irvine.
we got to test you. What?
They take measurements of your brain. It's the center of it is.
Oh,
kind
I'd be too embarrassed to measuring my brain. That would
No,
not
that's
be good.
okay.
Okay, shameless plugging.
Okay, shameless plugging.
Okay, you're
Here I go.
You're promoting the.
I'm promoting the 2 new Hallmark movies that I shot this year. It's part of the Aurora Teagarden series, and it's now we're into the prequel of the original series, and they're like better than ever. They're fabulous. Starring Skylar Samuels as Aurora Teagarden. I play her mom, Aida Teagarden. And this one is called A Lesson in Murder, and the other one's called Death in
at the
Diner. They're both great, and I did not know who were the killers.
Okay,
They're fabulous.
And Hallmark Plus.
Hallmark Plus is the new streaming service where you can get everything you love about Hallmark. So you can get all the 31 movies I've done.
And December 20th, 1984.
Well, it's a Thursday.
Is when she first heard Owner of a Lonely Heart.
Yes.
And December 20th, 2024 is when Trans-Siberian Orchestra will be at Prudential Center at 7 p.m. and we'll have more tickets to give away tomorrow.
Everything's connected to everything.
Right here on Q104.3.
Okay.
Marilu Henner, thank you.
Thank you
What
so
a
much.
joy having
This
you
has been
here
so much
this
fun.
morning.
So much fun.
If you're in town,
Oh,
Anytime.
I'm a regular.
Anytime.
pop by.
New York's classic rock. Q1043.